Hey everybody, this is Florence. It is Friday and it is time for us to get into it. Today we're going to be doing some Q&A. I'm going to do some work with Evernote version 11, the new version that came out a couple 3 weeks ago, and there's some features in there that I haven't played with, so I'm going to be answering some of my own questions. I'm just going to do it in public so that I can try some of these new features and see how they work. I'm excited to have you here. This week has been full of rigor, vigor, and new experiences. I am working through myself and my team. We're working through the fourth annual Iron Sharpens Iron Summit. And this year, the summit is about community building. And we've had tremendous trainers. We're also not doing interview style. We're not on YouTube, as you can tell, but we've been in session we were in session Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yesterday was session 4, and we have trainers coming in, conducting masterclass trainers, and then answering questions of those who have registered and signed up to attend the summit. We will have replays available for the summit, and you can get those. You can just go to the website and register. And if you attend the sessions that you can, and then the ones you can't, get the replays for. And there are some other goodies that come along with registering. So I want to see if I can get you to the right place so that you can see the summit page. Let me go to the right place here, and I will bring it up in a minute because I did not prep this, but I can bring it up quickly for you. And let me, maybe I can bring it up quickly for you. Hey, Yolanda, I see you out there. Hey, Frank, glad to have you in the building with us this evening. I'm trying to type and talk. That is not a good combination, y'all. But this is casual. This is really casual tonight, and I'm not putting any pressure on myself or on you. So there we go. We got to the right place. Let's see if this comes up to the right place. Yes. If I was good, I would just uh I can hide. I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so I'm going to pull this up, but this is the summit. You see all of these fabulous faces on here. Some of them have already come in to teach. And then what you get when you register, access to, of course, the live sessions, and you get access to be able to ask questions that are relevant to you during each session. You get access to the premium community for 15 days, and then access to session replays and summaries for 15 days. And who is it for? I outlined that. And then all of these speakers. So we've had Kirk Nugent, we've had Liberty White, we've had Sandra Coates Bell, we've had Yolanda B. And next week we'll start with James Hicks, Tora Spraggs, Joshua Ewell, and Charles Gate will wrap up. Definitely wanting to know that there is a purpose in a journey that you're going to go through, and the information has been tremendously powerful already. So I'm excited. So if you've been in the summit and you have questions or comments that you'd like to make, I will be glad to hear them today. And if you have other questions, maybe it's a workflow, maybe it's a tool, maybe it's uh, how to use something, AI tool, or how to use another tool. I'll talk about a question that I got from somebody in a community this week. In fact, I said I'll answer questions. So there was a question that came where the person is looking to, and tell me if you identify, you schedule events, but they're looking to schedule and book multiple one or multiple show guests on a particular show. So they're going to have a show. They want to be able to book and have multiple guests on the show, and they want to get out of manually having to manage the booking process. And I explain there is a way to handle that. You get a tool that does automated booking. And on this channel, I've talked about the tool that I use quite frequently, but you set it up so that you your initial communication with those potential guests or collaborators is, "Hey, would love to have you join. Here's a link. Go there. You create your questions that you want to have them answer to include if you want them to provide some headshots or other documents. You when they go to the link, then they can pick the date that fits their calendar, and then so you're not having to do that. Then in the same workflow, they get reminders of when the event is happening. They get links for where they need to be, whether it's Zoom or Riverside or whatever you're using. They get other information to remind them to do what to do. For example, if you have tech checks, you can have a custom message that goes that is automated and it's scheduled to remind them, hey, schedule your tech check, and here's how you get to that, and give them another link. So it removes your time spent manually managing all of those interactions. They're still happening. The person is getting the information they need, but you're not having to every day manage those interactions. That is a part of what I call being very productive because you're getting done what needs to be done, but you've outsourced the mechanics to application. So you've handed it off, you've delegated it, and now you don't have to be doing that follow-up because you've set it up so that the follow-up happens without your direct interaction. If you have any interest in wanting to know more about how that process works, let me know. Leave a comment. You can put booking calendar in a comment, and I will be glad to go back through it. And frankly, that's something that I did for this year for the summit. All of the instructors got a link and they picked their dates. And I had sent them emails, giving them all the information they needed, and said, click this link, go pick your date. When they picked it, I knew I had confirmation. They're getting their reminders. They've got an information page for everything else that they need. So that is the way I answered for this particular person who asked me the question using an automated tool. And there are bunches of them. Depending on how in depth you want to be, depends on the tool that you use. So I'm purposely not saying a specific tool because it depends on your particular needs. So we got some people in the building. I want to say hello to you all. I'm going to start with Miss Yolanda B, and we will be together about is it 8 o'clock or 8:30? Put the time in because I know you're going live tonight, and I'm gonna be there hearing what you have to say. Hello, Frank Jackson. How you doing? And thank you for saying you're looking forward. You were on fire yesterday. You were on fire yesterday when you taught your class. So thank you. And I agree, Yolanda, I agree with Frank. You did a great job last night. You were a rock star. Hello, Michael Flemons. Glad to have you in the building with us. And we have Tora. Glad to have you in the building, bringing that little red car. I know you coming for somebody. And yes, she's greeting Yolanda. Okay, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Everybody, let me just say commercial break. 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. We're going to be over there. Now, I don't do a whole lot of trash talking, but I pay attention to everything that she's saying. I pay attention to everything that she's saying. All right. Yeah, she did. She did a tremendous job last night. So, hello, emotional CEO. Glad to have you in the building. And so, if you have, whatever question you have, put it in chat today. We're back to um, here comes the red car. So, put it in chat. I'm going to hop into Evernote and just kind of start tinkering and pl- playing with the tool because I'm learning some of the new features myself and I want to figure out how they're working. So, okay. Okay. The red car is a whole thing. It is a whole thing. I'm just saying. So you may not be an Evernote user, but the thing that's important is not so much the tool, it is the process that I go through and what I think about using these tools to reduce my workload, but get the same volume of work done and make information available when I need it. So that is the process. And so with these new features, version 11, like I said, version 11 came out. It's the first major version release of Evernote since 2023, I want to say 20, it may have been earlier than that, either 2022 or 2023. So this is a pretty significant change in the product. And so I wanted to see how some things work. Let me bring it up. So this, if you've never seen, I'm in light mode, which I typically don't use, everybody. But this is what's called the home screen, and I've just got some widgets on here. This is my test account. It's not my regular account. It's my test account, so I can do all kind of things and break it, um, so that I know how to use it. And I'm going to come to your question here in a second. I got your question, Yolanda. So, one of the things they've done, and this is what I want to play with, is so let me turn, I do this all the time. Let me turn Pro Mouse on so you can see where I'm at. There you go. So, this arrow right here is new and it hides the note list. So, this center column here, and if you use Notion, Notion has a very similar function. So this center column of notes, it hides. So if you click that arrow, it'll hide that. So it gives you more workspace. So that's one thing that's new, which I like and I use. But what they've done is, I'm going to scooch this up so you can see it right here. This circle in the bottom right is the AI assistant that has been dropped in. So, like a lot of tools, when you click the AI assistant, I'm going to close it. And all I did was click down here at the bottom right. Like a lot of tools, when you open it up, it looks like any other chat window that you're accustomed to seeing. What's different about this is you can also, and I want to look for it. Is it here? No, it's not. That's not what I want. You can, this is why I'm practicing, y'all. You can add, there it is. You click the plus sign and you can do a web search. So I'm not going to, it's not perplexity. So don't get confused by that. But if you want to look up quick information very quickly and you don't want to have to jump out, go to Google, go to perplexity and get information, then you can. So, for example, if I'm going to do a web search and I want to say, what time, you got to be able to type too. What time is it? I'm gonna see if this works now in Spain. I'll pick another country. That's my prompt, and it's gonna go now. It's doing a web search as opposed to looking just in Evernote. It says here's the local time in Spain, which generally operates on Central European time, and it gives me the local time. It's 12:45 a.m. on February 7th. So quick, you want some quick information, it's built right in. Now I can take that information and copy it and paste it into my note. And now if I've looked that up and I don't want to have to do that search again, I've got it right there. But the other thing I can do is I don't want to do a web search. I want to only search my notes. This is another thing. If you're a Notion user, you can do the same thing. I only want to search the notes in my Evernote account. I can do that as well. So, and then up here in this little, I'm going to scooch this down. The way I've laid this out is kind of weird. But right here, this little thing that looks like a clock, if I click it, I'll have a list of all of the chats that I've run. So I can go back, refer to chats. Now, I have some prompts that I've made in my prompt library. So let's see. I'm going to do this one and I'm going to say, I did this, but I didn't make sure my cursor was where I wanted it to be. Prompt. And I'm going to say creating a writing a description. So this is a prompt that I use and all the time. So if I want to run that prompt inside of Evernote, I want to see what it does. I want to see if it works. And it tells me I can create a new note. And it wrote something very quick, not real great because I didn't give it a whole lot of information. Typically, I pair that with other things. But what this does, think productivity and workflow. It eliminates me having to go out, run a prompt, get information, be in a different app, copy, come back and paste into either Evernote, Google Doc, whatever you put it in, and then go through and do formatting. I've eliminated probably 5 steps. That is the difference for me because I'm always looking for how do I use a tool to outsource work and eliminate steps in my process. If this made sense to you, let me know. If it didn't make sense to you, let me know. So I'm going to go back because Tora has, Yolanda has a question. So I want to answer her question because that's important. And if what I just shared was useful, just to get you thinking about how you use a new tool that maybe you don't use, let me know. So the question is, with the first month of 2026 in the rearview mirror, if this year has not been as productive as one would like, what are your suggestions on how to increase productivity in the days, weeks ahead? Awesome question, because I've had some struggles just like anybody else. The first thing I'm going to say is look at your current processes, your current systems, how you get things done, whether it's paper, digital, whatever you use. Really look at, okay, where did it break down? Where did my system break down? Not where I broke down. Where did my system break down? For example, I talked about this in my community. I'll give you something that's real for me, so I won't pick on anybody else. I'll talk about me. I had set a goal to be active in school and do at least 10 activities every day. And I was trucking along, trucking along, trucking along. Wasn't a problem. It was easy. I had everything ready to go. I got really super busy in meaning a lot more work for a project that I was leading hit my plate about halfway through January. And the process that I'd set up broke down. So I didn't keep up with the 10 activities a day. That's my lack of productivity. So when I looked back at it, I did what we all do. I said, Florence, you got this. You can do this. And I was going to will it into being. I'm going to use my willpower. So I'm now back on that track and I'm keeping it simple. And I realized what I'd done. Two things that I had taken out of my workflow. I had a daily reminder at a certain time that would go off and remind me, hey, you've got about 2 hours to get this done. Find 10 minutes to knock it out of the park. So that was system. That was a part of my system. So I've now put that back in my system, in my task list every day that it pops up and reminds me at a certain time. And so instead of me being willing it to happen, so what broke down in my system? The other thing that broke down in my system is stopped my I changed my daily habit of make sure you write 3 posts a day so that they're ready to go and you don't run out of posts and you don't have to put in a lot of effort on any given day. It's really ready to go. And I stopped doing that. And why did I stop doing it? I changed my daily checklist. So I put it right back on my daily checklist. So regardless of what I have going on, part of my daily flow is write 3 posts. I may not use them for 3 weeks, but they're sitting ready to go. So that's an example of me looking at my own system and saying, it's not me. I'm not broken. I'm not a failure, but I have got something in my system that's not supporting what I want to do to be productive in this particular area. It can be in any area, but that was for me. If that answered your question, let me know. If it didn't, give me a follow up and I'll be glad to clarify even further. Okay? And hey, welcome, Aubrey. Glad to see you in the building. Aubrey has a daily habit, 6 days a week, I believe it is, Aubrey. You can tell us where you write for 55 minutes. You get a notebook, a fountain pen, a notebook, and you actually live stream that entire session. You're not really talking, you greet us and it recognize us, but you're sitting there writing and it's an opportunity for us to sit and work on something. And every day, unless I have a conflict in another meeting, I'm writing at that time because I know she's going to be there. This is how I got back to doing my 3 posts, writing my 3 posts a day out. Is I'm writing at that same time. So it's in my calendar, and unless I'm in another meeting for client meeting or something else, I'm there as well, and I'm literally writing. Okay, so it's every day. You do it 7 days a week. I thought it was 6. Great. Thank you for sharing. So if you need a little, kind of like little co-working and you want to get some writing done, whether it's a devotional, whether it's journaling, whether it's a speech, whatever it is, a great time to do it. If you have, because it's from 12 to like 12:55. So that may not work for everyone. That's Eastern time, but if that works for you and if it doesn't, pick your time and sit with her and write as a replay session. Because it does help having someone else doing something alongside you, even when you're not physically in the same place. That co-working is magic. Any other questions? I want to answer your questions today. Thank you, Aubrey. I'm thankful for you too. I'm looking for questions. So using Evernote, I'm testing what I can do with this AI piece. But even if I don't use that, there's some other things that I want to play with. They've added more slash commands, and I haven't played with these. They've done an AI transcription where you can transcribe. They always had where you could transcribe uh, text on images, the audio, so I can record audio and now transcribe it here. I've done a little bit of that. I'll give you how I've used it in a practical way. As many of you've heard me say, I write a content brief for my month of shows, and I have begun doing that writing verbally. And so I'll record it in using the audio capture here and then let Evernote transcribe it. Again, one less step in my process. Why? I don't have to sit there and try to type and think. I can think, verbalize what I'm thinking. Evernote is going to capture it because that's where I ultimately want it to be. And then I just transcribe it and leave it in the note. I can move it around. So, for example, if I start a new note, I got your question, David. I'll come back and answer it. And I hit this slash and do enter for AI transcription. This is not the recording. I'm doing this wrong. Okay, well, I don't even know what's on these screenshots. Okay, here's something. Here's a screenshot. So now it's transcribing. So this often happens with people. I don't know if you've ever had it where you have a screenshot with some text on it and you want the text that's in the screenshot. It just transcribed all of that information that was in that screenshot. Now I can copy it and paste it and do whatever else I want with it. So if you get things where somebody takes a screenshot of something and give it to you, can you do this in ChatGPT? Yeah. Here's the difference. I didn't go outside of the tool that I normally use, transcribe it, copy and paste it, and put it back. I put the image in the tool that I normally use, hit a button, and let it do its thing. I've now got the information that I need. If I want to take this and do something else with it, reformat it, use it someplace else, merge it with something else, whatever. So those are productivity tips that I use now. Again, you don't have to be an Evernote user. What I will say is whatever tool you use, find capabilities or features that the tool will help you and remove steps out of your workflow. And it takes thinking differently because my age group, we're used to doing everything manually. Like, okay, I got to write. Oh, I've got this picture. Oh, now I got to retype what's in there. Oh, and many of us, because of the way we came into using AI features, we're very accustomed to now starting up Claude or Notebook LM or Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini, writing a prompt, having it create something, and now I've got to copy and paste that into something else. The next level is do the same thing, write the prompt, get the results, and have it in the tool automatically, already where you're already working. That is a different way of thinking, and it does take thinking about how my flow is. Where can I take steps out and still get the same result? So let me go back. David had a question, and I want to answer your question. And your question is, do you have a set process slash time for review? So yes and yes. I have yes for both. I have a set process and I have a set time. My set time, I'm going to start with that. My set time for review is Saturday morning. Now, that may not be, pick time. It can be Sunday, it can be Monday, it can be whatever. It can be morning, it can be evening, it can be afternoon. So, personally, my set time is early Saturday morning. My process is a little wonky, but it works for me. I get coffee, hot cup of coffee, my task management tool, and this book right here. And I sit someplace where I'm very comfortable and I just go through what have I collected. A lot of times I'm I also you will use my iPad mini instead of a big my bigger one of the bigger iPads, but I'll use my iPad mini as well because I sometimes have collected information in drafts and I'm deciding what I'm going to do with it. If I need to and I also process tasks that I put in my task management tool right on the iPad because it's easy and it's fun to do. I will go back through that book because I've written through it all week and I look for what I'm doing. And I actually have a checklist that I follow, just so you know, David. I have a whole checklist and I do every step following that checklist in order. And if it's something that you'd like to see, what that checklist is, I will share it in the community. I may modify a couple of things because there was some personal information on there, but I use a checklist and I just go through my checklist. And those are the tools that I know from doing it for so long that I can get through my review pretty quick. Like when I say pretty quick, I can get through the majority of it in an hour. And I've processed every to do, every lingering thing, all the notes that I've gotten, emails that require me to take action, voice recordings. I've brain dumped things that I'm thinking about and figured out where to put those. I've updated my task management system for the week in that hour. And it used to take me longer, but I've now got it down to a rhythm. Again, if I didn't answer your question, let me know. I'll be glad to answer it. I would say yes to yes for checklist. Absolutely. And yes, find where my flow is. Yeah, you just got to figure out what flows for you cuz it's going to be different for each of us. It's not the same. Somebody else may need to listen to chamber music while they're doing something. Somebody else may and what you're doing will dictate. I'll tell y'all a funny, tell you how Florence is. I washed a load of clothes yesterday. I totally forgot I washed a load of clothes yesterday. So guess what didn't happen? Because Thursday is not typically a day that I wash clothes. So I forgot I put the clothes in the wash machine. Guess what stayed in the wash machine all night? Yeah. So guess who was using borax and everything else to rewash these clothes today so I don't have moldy, stinky clothes and getting rid of them. So that's why I'm such a habit person because Thursday is, I don't know what possessed me to want to do this yesterday, but Thursday is not a day that I typically do laundry. I have no idea why I got a wild hair yesterday and decided I wanted to do a load of laundry. And that's what happens when I break my own flow and my own routines. I will go do something and my brain is not wired to do that. My habits, my systems, my reminders are not wired for me to do it. And I forget all about it. So there you go. Anyway, we've been at this for a little over half an hour. I don't have any other questions. I wanted to show you guys a couple things that I was playing with Evernote. And if there's something you want to see, let me know very quickly, and I will be glad to share it with you. Aubrey says, I just want to say it is awesome to see others have checklists because of my, yeah, your traumatic brain injury. I forget all the time. Look, I got old people syndrome. I forget all the time, all the time. So, yeah, I'm just double checking, making sure I don't miss anybody's question. It has been my pleasure to hang out with you guys tonight. Thank you for being here. Again, I will try things all the time. I will go in here and play and say, "Do I like this? Do I like the way this works? This is going to make a difference for me?" And then I will implement it and I'll tweak it. And I will just encourage you as you're looking at all of your workflows, whatever you're looking at, be willing to start and tweak as you go. Do try to avoid trying to make the workflow perfect before you start it. Start it and evolve it, and you'll continue to evolve it over time. I'm going to show you if I can get it to do it. Let me see. I'm going to show you guys something. It may scare you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Let me see. Let me go to yeah. Okay, let's see. All right. I think I can show you this. All right. I'm going to show you this because it's going to make sense when I tell you. So this looks very scary, but this is a drafts document. It's just literal. When I say drafts, think a plain text file, like a plain notepad, whatever you use to write plain text in. There's no formatting, nothing. It's just plain text. But what this is, move this over, is the way I format my projects to go into my task management tool. So when I'm creating a project in my task management tool, I this is I've got a button here on the side and it's here and it's task paper to OF. That doesn't mean anything to anybody but me, but it means something to me. So if I click this word right here, it's going to take all of the information that's over here and it creates the project in my task management system. It gives it a name. It sets all the dates. It sets the order that all of the tasks need to be done in. And I just execute and they show up on my task list day by day as I need to do them. So this is what I built for uh, a video on demand. So VOD, video on demand. When you see this thing that says title, that's me putting it's like a space holder when I'm gonna release it. When everything is done, does the whole project get checked off? So when I check off the last task, does it close the project? It automatically does that. And then I go through it's like the setup, the planning, the scripting, the setting up YouTube, social media, practicing before I recording, um, editing the video, the things that I'm gonna do, publishing the video. All of these steps are in here. I don't have to ever rewrite these in a task list. I can set up 5 of these and have them going at one time in my task management system. I don't have to drag things around to different places and go back. So that's for me an example of how it works for my brain. It may work differently for someone else, but that's something that I do. And each time I go through that process with that project, I'm mindful if something was a roadblock or didn't work quite well for me, I'll come back into this, I'll come back in here and I'll make an edit here. So the next time I run the project, the thing that I fixed is fixed in the project and I don't have to think about it at all. So those are some things that I do to help. You've heard me say that I use systems, and that's a case of me using a system. My script is script format is in Evernote, but the task when I write the script is in my task management system, and they work together. So that's kind of a long way of me sharing a little bit of how I actually flow through how I get things done. And those scripts go directly into Evernote and they tie back to exactly what this project says. Yeah, I agree with you, Aubrey. Tweak as you go. And thank you, Tora. Thank you for glad and thankful for sharing my knowledge. It's just experience and me trying things and getting reps in. That it's that's really it's what it is. It's I just put in enough reps and I keep doing and keep tweaking. And when I fail, I pick it up and I go again. That's really what I do. So with that, I'm going to say good night to you all. I am so glad that you were here tonight, that you showed up. Have a great weekend. And Yolanda, I will be with you in about 45 minutes. I will be in the room with you in about 45 minutes. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you in the next video or in the next live stream. Take care.